2 years ago I did a review on HiredUps, the second shooter title from the Conflict Wars developers, and I was generally positive. I liked the game, but I wasn't sure if it was actually going to stick around and be successful. Then it massively failed, and half a year ago I made a video explaining my personal suspicions on why the game failed horribly. Now I'm really excited because yesterday the HiredUps developers announced that the game was going to become free to play, which makes most of the reasons that I previously said were the reasons it failed massively completely irrelevant. If you haven't seen the video on why I initially thought the game failed massively and for whatever reason you want to watch it, I'll link it down below. But essentially in the video I said that the marketing was pretty bad, only really Conflict Wars players were talking about the game or knew the game. And Conflict Wars players themselves weren't really interested, because HiredUps was a game for $10, and if you're playing Conflict Wars, there's a good chance you either only play free games or you spend a ton of money in Conflict Wars. And neither of those demographics are really going to purchase a game like HiredUps. Besides that, people didn't want to give up their progress that they had in Conflict Wars. That reason is still relevant. And HiredUps didn't match up against shooters on their price point. For example, for $10 I can play Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, old Call of Duties, and why would you really play HiredUps at that point? So the reason I'm so excited about this change is that now that HiredUps is free, first of all, basically every Conflict Wars player, except those that do not want to give up their progress, have a really good reason to switch, because objectively HiredUps is just a better game than Conflict Wars. So in my excitement I basically wanted to make a quick video discussing why I think this is an amazing change, and what you should expect from this, whether the game will be successful I think. And when the game actually comes out as free to play, I'll be making another review to reflect on the changes. Now, HiredUps made a pretty lengthy post on their Facebook about this update, and it's basically too long for me to actually go through it all, but if you want to read it I'll also link that down below. But I did take a couple quotes from the post to talk about. For example, they said, "Our primary reason for making it free to play is to get as broad an audience as possible by reaching various types of players with a minimal barrier of entry." What they basically mean by this is, hey, our game is dead, nobody wants to play it, so we'll make it free so people may want to play it. I'm actually surprised how they had some pretty nice wording, because usually their announcements are like written by a Russian with broken English, but here's the interesting part. So, because it's becoming free, HiredUps previously did not have any sort of microtransactions. There were no premium weapons whatsoever. And that's also one of the huge reasons why I previously considered it a lot better than Conflict Wars. Now that it's going to be free to play, should you expect microtransactions? Yes. They even said it themselves. In the post they said two things related to this that I think were pretty relevant. HiredUps is genuinely free to play with no hidden fees and no fancy deceptive tricks designed to compel you to go on a spending spree. Every single part of the fundamental game experience is free. So they specifically said every single part of the fundamental game experience. The fundamental game experience of a shooter is just basically being able to play the entire game as a whole. Now, if you compare this wording to, for example, Conflict Wars, every single part of the fundamental gameplay experience of Conflict Wars is also free. But we all know how many microtransactions are in the game and how big of an advantage you can get by paying. So there are definitely going to be microtransactions in this game. There are going to be premium weapons, I think. I hope there won't be ridiculous rents like plus 30 penetration. Because that's actually the most overpowered pay to win thing I thought Conflict Wars had. Additionally, they also stated that for people that already bought the game before it became free to play, they will get unique premium weapons and camouflage for their in-game characters. So they already admitted there are going to be premium weapons in the game. Do I think the game will be pay to win? I hope not. I think it will at least be a lot better than Conflict Wars in that sense, because I don't know, I just kind of feel like they learned their lesson. But I would not be surprised if you could get a decent amount of advantages just for paying. Now, a huge thing about this, in my opinion, is that by making HiredUps free to play, they are making HiredUps direct competition for Conflict Wars. Now, the reason I think this is because they're basically admitting to what I said in my Conflict vs. Dying video, is that the devs essentially acknowledge that the game is dying. So by making high ops basically in every sense better than Conflict Wars and also free, I think they're admitting Conflict Wars is dead, go hop over to high ops and go play this instead now. And that's my thoughts on it. So with high ops becoming free, I definitely think it's the best free shooter out there. I think the game is going to be successful. So those are pretty much the main points I want to discuss. So the game is going to be free, expect microtransactions, it's essentially a better version of Conflict Wars. And when the game actually comes out as free, I'll be making another review on it. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, comment, all that shit, you know. And the High Ops Facebook post and my old video on why High Ops died will be in the description below. So yeah, see you in the next video.